right. Let's see. Let's run this baby. All right. So let's share this window capture program. Actually, yeah. Let's call it a game. And then we'll call this the app. All right, here we go. I don't know why you guys can't see it moving. Why can't you guys? Hold up. Let me see. Why chat rate? If I can figure out how the chat works on here, we'll continue. I wonder, I don't even know how to get to my stream. Oh, here it is. It looks like it's frozen. Let me see. Another thing is like, why is the game? Paste this and then exit this. It's gonna make a bunch of noise. Whatever. Let's see. Oh, the stream seems to be back. Maybe it was there the whole time. But why? I'm wondering. Wondering why. Let's exit that and let's run it again. Let's see what happens. Howdy. I'm wondering why this thing is not displaying properly. Huh. Application audio. This maybe game capture 2. Capture specific window. And we're gonna do this one. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's delete this. Remove. Alright, now we can get started. Alright, now we can get started. So howdy. You dox yourself. Alright. Alright, let's get started. So I wanted to show this Pong game working. It's a very, very simple app with a perfect AI, which is kind of probably one thing we could fix later. But the main thing to note is that there is a couple items on here. A couple items that we need for Pong. The two items that you see is the AI and the player. Those are two paddles. There's also the things that the ball could bounce off of, so the bottom wall and then the top wall, and then there's the ball itself, and we have a scoreboard up here, which is kind of in a weird spot. I don't like it, but we could fix it later while we're debugging how this Pong game works in reverse. So we already have the game working, and now we're going to go through the code backwards after I've gone through a tutorial to learn how this thing works and debug all the stuff in here and see how maybe we can all learn how ECS works a little bit better, including myself. So I'm no expert, but I know enough to be dangerous. So now we got, let's write this down. So it's the scoreboard, the paddles, the walls, and the ball. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. 7 items. 1, 2, 3, 4 items that we can have collisions. So, all right. So that is the game. So let's exit that. So let's see. So I put everything into one main file. Let's take it apart piece by piece. Honestly, probably gonna take it out of the main to just help us decode this for a little bit. Maybe, let's see how best to take it apart. Let's put these down. I don't know. There's comments. Let's see. So let's start with the moving of the, let's start breaking down the player and the ball first, because that would make sense. So let's go find that. Reset ball. Okay, so let's start with spawning the ball. All right. So first thing we do is print. Well, actually, let's remove stuff from our main to just get just that working, just the ball. Let's go to main. Let's go. So if we just spawn the ball, we comment this out. My keyboard would just work. My keyboard. No. Let's turn that off for a little bit. It's kind of annoying. So we're just gonna spawn the ball. Goodness, my keyboard stopped working. Let's see. Why does my keyboard not want to work? Alright, now it wants to work. Where did my audio go now? Can you guys hear the audio? Because I can't hear anything. My audio cut out. Oh, there we go. I don't know. I must have like pressed the wrong key or something. Alright, so we were gonna remove the spawn camera, spawn paddle, spawn gutter, spawn, and then let's remove all these systems. Brother, what happened to my keyboard? think we might even be able to get rid of, actually, maybe all of this. Let's see. Maybe all of this. Yeah, all of this. Yeah, everything's giving an issue because we removed it all. So let's see. So let's run it and see what happens. Cargo run. All right, perfect. We don't see anything. No. Why not? Because we've added the system. Maybe. Oh, probably because we need a camera. We need a camera. Cargo run. Because we need to be able to see the screen. Without a camera, we won't be able to see anything. So that's our first lesson of the day. You need a camera to see stuff. And there we go. Now, what makes up a ball? Let's go look at that. What makes up a ball? Spawn ball. Copy, and then control find, control Z. Nice. Ball. All right. What makes up a ball? Spawn ball. So there's this class circle. This is from Bevy Math Primitives Dimensions 2. A circle primitive representing a set of points and distance from the origin. Okay, I mean, that's kind of good what that means. I mean, so we pass it a radius, and that just creates a circle? Oh, no. You pass it a radius, and then let's go look online. Maybe hold up. Right here. So we pass circle a radius, and implement circle. We self new it, so we create a new thing of it, and then that's basically it. That's all we get. So we get a self dot radius back. Congratulations, we made a circle. All right, perfect. It's literally just a struct with a radius of F32. That's all we got. so far. That makes our circle. Well, technically, we get all this other stuff. So we get like a diameter. We get the closest point, which find the point in the circle that's closest to the given point. If the point is outside the circle, the return point will be on the perimeter of the circle. Otherwise, it will be inside the circle, returned as is. That kind of doesn't make sense that much, but closest point, I guess it'll be the closest point along the perimeter, right? Closest point, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Closest point, but I think the otherwise confusing. Otherwise, it will be inside the circle and returns as is. I think it's just saying it will be the closest point inside the circle. All right, that's enough of that. So it's some type of shape. I'm assuming, I guess it just describes a shape. Maybe that's how all shapes are described. I mean, if it was a square, it probably would give you like length times width, something like that. So let's continue. The color. We go to the color library, which Bevy also provides. Oh no, where's this from? Yeah, it looks like it's from Bevy too. Yeah, it's from Bevy Color. Red, green, blue. This is just pretty much standard of any like color library, which makes sense. All right, now we get into something difficult. Assets.add will load these into memory and return a handle, an ID. To these assets, when all references to this handle are cleaned up, the asset is cleaned up. That seems normal to Rust. It's just if we remove a reference to a variable, seems very similar. I'll leave that comment there. That was nice. So this mesh, let mesh, we create a handle to a mesh, and we do meshes.add. So maybe we should go over what is this, because this is some wonkiness that Bevy does for us when it goes to query for things, and these are auto-magically there. So maybe let's find out what a residue is. Yeah, see, this is where I get lost a little bit. This is kind of, we need a human readable, unique, mutable borrow of a resource. See resource documentation for usage. If you need a shared borrow, use res instead. Okay, so, man. Let's see what this is. A type that can be inserted into a world as a singleton. You can access resource in system using res and resmute system parameters. Only one resource of each type can be stored in the world at any given time. Only one resource of each type. Alright, ChatGPT. This is where you're gonna shine, bro. See, this is what this thing's good for, bro. Let's put this up. Put this up, bro. Let's take the agent off and then paste. Mesh. Paste. Let's see. Type. Is it used by Bevy? Bye, Bevy. Explain. I think it's called code injection. It's code injection? Yeah. It is called... A resource? Okay, first time we're seeing a resource. Just like our components don't belong to a specific entity, you could think of them as singleton components. Okay. So there's a thing called assets of type mesh that either... The question I have is either we are creating it right now, or it's already there. It's like an empty baggie of things that I can save to these meshes. Let's ask ChatGPT, bruh. Alright, let's ask ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, can you explain res mute asset mesh to me? Oh my goodness, bro. How does this work? Question mark? Does it already exist? See, that's the question, because how can I just know to put that there? Does an empty baggie of this stuff already exist? Because this is spawning the ball, so I'm telling it to add it. I'm telling it to add it right here. So yeah, I'm telling it to add right here, but and then I'm telling it to spawn here. So how does all this stuff already exist? How does this stuff already exist? If I can find my J. Let's see what Chat GPT Whistle says. The resume parameter and the spawn ball don't create these resources. They're borrowing existing resources that we've already created by the Bevy plugin. We're borrowing. So these are not creating resources, they're accessing existing ones. Where do these resources come from? Alright, so we get it from the default plugin. In the default plugin, it provides you like a bunch of basic stuff. And I guess if you read the documentation, it will just find out where that stuff's at. So maybe a good thing to do a resource that stores all. Okay, so asset meshes is a resource that already exists. Asset color materials, a resource that already exists. It's part of the core Bevy resources. So maybe let's look up core Bevy resources. When you call mesh.addShape, you're adding meshes to a Bevy centralized storage system, which is created during app initialization. Think of accessing a shared database. You're not creating a database, you're just getting a connection to store and retrieve the data from it. So there's a database with each of these type of things in it. Alright, so let's go look up core Bevy resources. Let's go look that up. This is a guide to Bevy's entity component system. All Bevy app logic is using ECS patterning, so definitely pay attention. Why ECS? Jesus. Data-oriented, function data-driven, clean architecture, prevents deeply nested inheritance, which is badass. Massive parallel and cache friendly. Nice. Just normal, a component, just a normal data type. Position, velocity, health, color, name, entity, a collection of components with a unique ID. Okay, that's making more sense. All right, let's I'm gonna get this, and let's just for. ECS guide. I'm gonna paste this here. New file. ECS underscore guide. RS. Let's see. Paste. All right, let's go back up to the top to what I was reading. Hey, I got this from the docs, bro. All right, I don't know how can I share stuff with you guys when maybe I just I will just save it, and then I'll just save it here for now as the top right here. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, we'll save it right there. We'll say, you know what? I'm just gonna create a new file called links, and then here I will paste the tutorial links dot md, bro. And then I'll post this here, and then I'll make a nice little document later about this tutorial. Alright, so bro, why does this look like this? Okay. Alright, ignore the lines. It just makes it so hard to read. Jesus, drive me crazy. Oh, I wonder if I just... make a bin and put it in here. Alright, perfect. I'll leave it alone for a little bit. Now, this is a guide. Oh my goodness, brother. Unresolved input, consider important. Brother, is this like an old... It's on version 14. It's on version 14. Control. Yes, I will. Let's paste this. All right. Paste. Perfect. Man, just brother, what the? All right, I need some. Let's see, Russ. Dependy. Yeah, it should be installed. How do I remove this? I hate some of these plugins, bro. Alright, I'll remove it later. Alright, so bro, this I just need to import random. So it'll just leave me alone. Paste and there we go. Let me go back here. Perfect. That left me alone. Now, clean architecture, yada yada yada. ECS definitions. A component. This is just a normal data type. So this is kind of like a struct. It's almost always a struct. I haven't seen, like, all these can be represented as a struct. This is like a vector, a 2D vector, velocity. Also, maybe that's a 3D vector, or velocity is just a number. So that's just a number, an int. Health, that could be a couple different things. Color, you saw red, green, blue. Name, it's just a string struct. So in this scenario right here, an entity, now we have, like, this could be like the left paddle has two things. It has a position, and the name could be player, and then like the entity 2 could be like the AI and the position of the paddle. All right. Now, a resource, a shared global piece of data, asset storage, event, system state. So these are the things that you're given. Okay, so okay. So these are like your sprites. These are like things that happen that are global events that you want to be trigger things. and then system state. System state. So I guess that could be like maybe just things that you're monitoring across the system. Maybe things that Bevy is monitoring across the system. I don't know what an example would be, but maybe ChatGPT could just enter that. ChatGPT system runs logic on entities, components, and resources. Move system, damage system. Okay, that's cool. I like that. This is actually a pretty clean way to describe all this. It's actually like the best. Who knew? The docs. It's pretty good. Now that you know a little bit about ECS, let's look at some Bevy code. Okay, so let's go back to here real quick. So this system, since the components are just pieces of data, let's say, like, a really good example is the damage system. So you have a struct health, and then you have a system that interacts with health. But the ECS system, in ECS, you want that system to be able to be reusable across, let's say, your enemy and the player. So in the scenario of inheritance, if you were to use inheritance to build a damage system and you put the damage system on the player, you would have to build it again on the enemy for it to work on the enemy as well. But now the question is, if you have a move system, if you want the player to move differently from the enemy, you're still making two systems. But I think that the incentive is maybe you can reuse these systems more. I think that's it. Otherwise, I don't know. Because otherwise, why wouldn't I just put it with the player? But I guess, I guess if you have two types of enemies, but they have the same movement system, or it just allows a lot more reusability, unless of everything being classes and uses, deep inheritance all the way down. Because, like, let's say a system like health, or a component like health, I could reuse that component everywhere. Especially if I make it generic enough. But the system for damage could be different. It could be enemy damage system or player damage system. That's my assumption. Just coming from the fact that let me see. Well, that move AI function, the move AI, and move AI. Where's my main? Handle player input. Oh, but let's see this right here. Go to definition of. You didn't find move paddle. Stop lying. Why you always lying? All right. So we go right here. Position and velocity. So, but when we go to move AI, AI, and then velocity goes down or up in a single direction. Otherwise, it's 0. I guess we don't mess with the position here, but we do mess with the position with the AI for some reason. Why do we have to get the position for the AI here? Oh, because it's comparing the AI position to the ball position. Otherwise we wouldn't need to. Otherwise we wouldn't need to bring it in like we brought it in to. So this is a good example. The Move AI system is one system. Then the Move Paddles is another system. And the player input's another system. But Move Paddles is used by the AI and used by the player. How about that? All right. So let's start ripping some stuff out of here. Like, this is driving me crazy. So let's see. So how? I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way to separate this into multiple. ChatGPT is telling me to do it into make a bunch of plugins, which is a really cool thing in Bevy, which honestly I think is a great idea. Let's see. That's something I would not have thought of. Put it into I wonder. Let's see. Game state. In this scenario, so oh, so these things don't exist. You creating them like almost like right here. This takes in like a generic resource. How about that? All right, all right. So now that we know this is kind of like the core. I don't need this anymore. Let's delete this. I mean, this might be a good reference though. Yeah, I'm deleting it. I don't need it. I don't need it right now. I will post the links in here. Now, oh, let's go to 16. All right. 16, that's the most recent one, right? 16.1, I will update this because we're doing it on 16. Took me long enough to find that. Now, let's go to main and let's do all right, so I like that. I like that. So let's just do that. A ball plugin. So let's just do ball. Ball. We ball dot rs. Let me see. this off real quick, bro. Be annoying. Alright, so oh yeah, I forgot all these could have like their own mains. Alright, so let's see. And then let's see if we can make this work with ChatGPT. Let's do one plugin at a time. So if I do let's just right above this, paste, ball, and then we do like a balled up plugin. Alright, so you working now? Alright, perfect. Oh, common. We'll do that too. We'll do the common, but we'll only place the stuff for the ball. Common, ball plugin, and then common plugin, which is gonna contain like our common components. New file common.rs. We are not gonna do this yet. We are just spawning ball here. Alright, just spawning ball. That is it. Okay, now why do we need just, we don't need that either, probably. And then we don't need these right now. And then in common, we need those three things. Shape, position, velocity. We may not even need that. Do we even need that? No, we don't even need these. Because we need that construct ball. See, we're no longer gonna spawn the ball right here. We're gonna spawn it in the plugin. And let's see. Ball speed. I don't know if we need. Maybe we need that. We'll leave it. Okay, now we do need it. Yeah. So import position from crate position, import velocity. Oh no. Stop. Close. Import velocity and then import shape. Import shape. Yeah, import shape. And then this has everything we need. Now we have the ball plugin and we can use the ball plugin. This does the exact same thing as before. So let me go back to our main and see. So we are gonna let's import the stuff from our component plugin as well. So let's go do that. So when we import this in the main, add plugins. So I'm gonna put it here. I don't know if it actually matters, but I'm gonna assume it does. And before that, we are gonna include actually we could include it all together. And then this will have a common plugin. But why? Actually, I don't even need that yet. It's okay, we can just ignore that for now, and then we are ignoring we're gonna ignore that for now. We are gonna just import, just to get it working. We are gonna import we're gonna import velocity. We're gonna import position. We're gonna import shape. get key paddle here. Alright, so from here we are gonna import, let's see, velocity. I keep pressing Control V when it's Shift V. Velocity, comma, and then position, and then shape. Oh no, shape, and then we're gonna close these brackets. There we go. And then we're gonna finish up with a little semicolon here. If I can find where my semicolon's at. Here, there we go. So that should remove most of the errors. What are we missing, bro? Oh, we need to import ball. So from the ball class, or the, what would we call it? What would you call it? Ball. All right. So why can't I import ball from ball? I have like a hard as crap to use keyboard, but I'm determined to learn it. Ball is private, so yeah, we could just make it public. A pub space, and then we go back to main, and everything is working. Maybe, let's see, run this. Compile for me. Compile! Ah, man. I don't know how I'm going to chop this up later. We will see. Honestly, I may not even chop it up. I don't know. Alright, bro. Sometimes this thing kind of takes a long time to compile. And man. No wonder we'll put cracks on freaking Rust, bro. So essentially right now, all that should happen is we should see a little ball in the middle of the screen after the 20 minutes of this thing compiling. Brother, why are you compiling everything again? Shouldn't it be like, I should have like some flags here so it doesn't compile as much, but I mean, over the course of this tutorial, I will put this on HIO with the Bevy 2D CLI. No Bevy version found. What are you talking about? Crazy. Alright, let's go see. I know there is a way to make this thing compile faster, but I'm also gonna post a link of the original tutorial. The original tutorial. Alright. There we go. Can everybody see that? Let's go. We did it. Alright, so what did we do? We took out the ball component. We added a plugin for ball that we wanted to spawn the ball at the beginning, which is pretty dope. In the act of spawning the ball, we went to our database, and basically this is what the way I want to describe this works is, in simpleton words, is we are getting a mutable asset mesh type from our resources. It doesn't even exist yet. It doesn't even exist yet. Which is the weird part that I find. But the way that I'm thinking about this, like, this is the pointer to my asset mesh. It actually doesn't exist yet, but we're getting a mutable pointer to it, to my little place in my weird Bevy database. And we're gonna stick in our mesh type of this type into our asset of meshes. Bevy assets, Bevy mesh. And then we're gonna save it there. All right, just put it there for now for me, and we'll come play with that stuff later. So make a ball, give it a color, and then make a ball. Oh, this is a... Is this a component? No, okay, so maybe entities can be created from a mixture of components and resources. So, in this case, this is a resource. This is a resource. We're adding it to the database right now via these calls right here. Then we're adding a ball struct to this to make this into our ball entity. Okay. And then we spawn, because this spawn is done to spawn an entity. Yeah, spawn a new entity with given component and return the corresponding entity commands. To spawn an entity with a combination of components, spawn batch can be used for better performance. What I'm not understanding is, oh, this is a component too. That's kind of confusing a little bit. A component of 2D meshes. Huh. What's this? Is this a component too? Looks like they're both part of like the same thing. Oh, requires material. So to use this one, you need this one inside of the same entity. Okay. It's probably as easy as it's gonna get. So let's go back to main. Now, what else can we take off from? Can we take off from ball? Let me see. Let's add some of our systems back. Let's do that. Let's add our move ball. Move ball on update. And we're gonna put this back, this back, and let me see, this back, and this back. So everything should work. And now our ball should move in a direction forever. Since it's not gonna hit anything because there's no collision installed. So once this thing finishes building, great, it didn't move. Why didn't it move? Did I not? Why didn't it move? Why didn't you move? Go to definition. Ball speed. Interesting. All right, so let's print. Let's debug some of that. Maybe I wonder if I could debug this. Debug. Yeah. Cancel. We're gonna create a new one of these. Yeah, sure. We'll uninstall it per your recommendation. And then launch.json. Let's go back to debug. C++. I will figure out how to do this next time. Right now, we're just gonna print. We're just gonna print. Are you being called? Are you being called? Print. Moving ball. See, ChatGPT came clutch there. So let's go over here. All right, it is moving the ball. All right, so this is ugly. Print line, please. All right. So it is coming in here. It is moving the ball. But why can't I see it move? That is the problem. Bro, what are these errors? All right, So it is moving. It is moving. It is moving. Updates being called now. There has to be a reason. I think it's this. Let's go here. Go to definition. Go here. I think it's okay, so this function right here is a very good example of a very generic system. So give me all the transforms of the position and entities that contain both a transform and a position. So we basically like paddle 1, paddle 2, and the ball all have a transform and a position. And we can check and we can verify honestly just with the ball. Entity. Huh. No. This ball doesn't have a transform. I thought I had it. Who the hell? Nah, bro. I think I'm confused on where the transform comes from. That is the problem. That is the problem. Ugh. I'm confused on what is a transform then. And how does my ball have a transform? Alright. I think that's a good, because my ball and then, alright, let's ask ChatGPT. Brother. Why does my keyboard keep freaking disconnecting? Let me fix this real quick. I think Windows. I will get this to work before I fall asleep. Settings, Bluetooth. Yeah, it's not connected for some odd reason. Why? Alright. So stay connected. What? Let's add some context here. Main. The question is what has a transform? right, so that's pretty interesting. So anything you draw comes with a transform, and I didn't know that. There's so much you can learn from this Pong game. Like you could dig deep on Pong, Gundam Pong. Let's go. Let's go back to ball, and then we're gonna go to meshes. Right, mesh 2D. This comes from. So I want to look at the docs of this thing, and whoa. So it does come with the transform. Paste. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Comes with a transform. So maybe anything that you draw comes with a transform. I will later see how transforms work on an asset like a sprite. And I'm assuming the transform there works very similar. Like instead of redrawing it, it comes with a transform and then it redraws it somewhere else. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, now. So let's start. Oh, Control Z. That said something weird. To have a position, you need to transform. That's pretty cool. So now we're gonna make the ball move. Because we need to update the transforms for it to update the ball. Remember that, remember that. So let's run it. And now we should see the ball moving. Oh, there we go. We saw it. It went super fast. Why is the ball so fast? Why just gonna go over here on the top right? Woo! All right. All right, ball's moving. We got the ball moving. Got the ball rolling. All right, let's go put this over here with the ball stuff. We're gonna put it right down here. We're gonna put it right down here, and then, you know, we're gonna put it in here. Yeah, ChatGPT, that's what I wanted. Thank you. After ball move. You think it'll be okay if I just do it like that? Why isn't move ball in here? Yeah, we're gonna put move ball into cut. We're gonna put move ball into ball because that makes sense. And then we are gonna put project position somewhere else because that's actually pretty generic. So we're gonna put that in common. That has to do with moving all the stuff. All the stuff, we're gonna move it there. So that's how we're gonna do it. And then we are also gonna make let me see. Let's go back to move ball and then ball. Yeah, this is gonna be, brother, my freaking controller disconnected again. Why? I don't know. What happened? It says it's still connected. What? I'm running out of battery. Let me see if I do something. Alright, so this is gonna be move ball. Move ball, and then it's not gonna have nothing there. Can you stop? Move ball. Remember, this right here is like some type of code injection stuff. Just leave that system there, and then we go back to main. Not gonna worry about that right there, and then I am gonna let me see. We will add. Oh, let's go to the common. Let's add a plug in there. All right, let's put the plug in right here. Let's put the plug. Let's put the plug in there, and then we're gonna come here, and then we're gonna go right here, and then we're gonna put this common plug in there. Everything's already. No, it's not imported. Quick import. Yeah. There we go. And we are no longer gonna do this. How does it know what order do the plugins go? You know, like, oh, do the plugins? What the freak, bro? We don't need that. We don't need that. All right, now. All right. Let's ask ChatGPT. What order do the plugins run? Question mark. Plugins run their build. in the order you add them. System schedule order. Within each plugin, systems are added specific schedules. Startup schedule runs at startup, so that's like the startup thing in the plugin. So default plugin startup, ball plugin startup, common plugin, and then your main app. Spawn camera. Now, your update schedule runs every frame. Default plugin will run all its stuff, then ball plugin, then common plugin, and then the main. Then my main app. So it should all work right now, and it should still move my ball now that I have common RS and my ball RS. Alright, did anyone see that? 'Cause I didn't see that ball. What the fuck? Where's my ball missing? Okay, I saw it. Brother, what the? Am I going blind? Alright, we need to reduce this ball speed, bro. Ball size, ball speed. Let's cut this out. Alright, bro. What are you doing? Ball size, ball speed. Alright, so let's do a cargo run. Oh, I didn't change the speed. We should change this to like 1. Man, I see it at like the very last second. Why is it taking so long? Alright, so it takes a second to load in. It seems like it's slower than before, though. That's so weird. Why? Interesting. You know what? Maybe the resource needs to be loaded in. Should sources be loaded in first? I mean, I feel like at startup they should be loaded in. Game seems to start before the screen loads. This could just be like a thing. ChatGPT might not know, but this might work. This is okay, I guess, but I saw someone do this in another game. Now, we're gonna add these little systems just because I think Windows is doing something wonky, bro. And then we will add this to the very end of this, and then we'll mark game ready. And then can't compare game ready with game ready. All right, we'll add it. Partial equals. You like that? I did like that. All right, now. What happened? Did it add? I broke it. I broke it. I think ChatGPT is crazy, bro. Let's just get rid of this for now. Should just go slow now, and then here we go. All right, so now we got the ball moving. We got the ball moving. All right, so let's make the an environment.rs, and this will contain static parts of the game world. such as the gutters and that's pretty much it. Actually, just the bottom and the top part. So let's go. Let's go back to main. I guess before that, I want to start this. Where should we put the camera? Okay, maybe we could just look collisions. This was driving me crazy, bruh. Gonna put this in the ball. In the ball. Let's drop it right here. Only thing we're gonna leave right here is camera. And let's run a sanity. Cargo. FMT. Now, the collisions are gonna be right there. And then let's go back to main. Let's leave the paddles. Let's go handle collisions first. Collide with some side. Let's cut that. Ball. Import Bevy. And import Bevy. So now, perfect. Now we're live. And then we go back here, handle collisions. Maybe later we're gonna do, we'll do like a collision place. For now, this will be here. All right, now. So this so this will go here. Gotta handle the collisions there. Some well-made code, nice. Then, handle the collisions. But collisions with what? Will that even like compile? It should not. It should not do anything. Well, actually, it might bounce off the wall. Like where the... Oh, I did it. Alright. Alright, so since there's nothing there, it's not going to collide with the thing, so we'll just leave it alone. So, the next thing up is... let's leave these paddles for last. We'll just close them up for now. And then... let's do the gutters. The gutters. Gutter height. So cut main environment. Yeah. And then we're gonna make a component from this, or a, and then let's go to main. Let's go here, and then we are gonna, we don't want to put everything, we just want my environment plugin, right? These are no longer being used here. Good. And this environment plugin is gonna go right off. Nice. And then if all is well, we should see the gutters on the top and the bottom. Alright, sound broke. Alright. Paddles. Alright, we'll erase this later. We'll erase it later. What is it? Gutter height. Oh no. Gutter height, and then we will make it public for now. Can I make it public? Can it be a pub const? Can it? It can. And then let's go back here. What else do you need? Okay, let's run it. So now we should have collision with the gutters. Collision with the gutters, and that's pretty much it. And the moving ball. Gutters are there, they're black, and we have collision. Let's go. Now. Oh, look at this. We didn't have to spawn the gutters because we did the environment plugin. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Now. Let's do, see, paddles. Let's do paddles next. Because paddles are everywhere. See, first things first. So let's start with this. Main. I'll start with this. Paddle. Paste. And then main. And then we're gonna control Z because this was all together. Let's actually just cut all this. Cut all that. Paddle and then paste. And then just so we can get some, we're gonna, let's see. Paste, and then download ChatGPT. Alright, so this looks like a good candidate for the paddles. Handle player input, move paddles. Seems alright. Then spawn paddles seem like a good thing for paddles. Well, let's cut that out and then let's go to paddles. We'll put that right under here. And then speed dot height, and then let's make a let's fix some imports up in here. And let's go to main, and then alright, and then here we're gonna import the paddle plugin. And then here at the very top, yes. And then here we're gonna put this guy here. Yes. Now paddle plugin. Main RS, move AI. We're gonna have to fix that move AI, bro. It's too good. right. Get the ball crate up in here. And then should have paddles. We should have the whole game, honestly, once it compiles the whole game. Yes, sir. Huh, that was weird. All right, that's working. Now, let me see. Let's go back to main. So, move AI, we're gonna remove this system. Handle player input. Move paddles after handle player input. We're already handling. So now we got these guys. These are all UI components, which I will put in another plugin. So let's cut this out. It's cool. And then new file, we're gonna name it say we're gonna do, let's do the scoring system, score.rs, and then we're gonna make a UI, new file, UI.rs, and then let's paste this here, spawn scoreboard. Okay. Update scoreboard and spawn scoreboard. customs anymore here. And this thing says super clean. And then we are gonna we'll go back in here. And then we'll do that. And then we'll come back here. Seems like all of this let's try running it. Okay. Up. Sure. Okay. All right, we got it working. We need to check if the score system's working though. And it's working. All right. Now look how clean everything is. Let's go. Let's go, Gundam Pong. Alright, so now get status. Let's do get add dot. Yeah, whatever. Get commit minus m added modules. Get push origin main. All right, so now we pushed it up. All right, so that was the stream, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed.